Hello, I'm David Cadilia, the visual effects supervisor on The Prototype. I'm going to be showing you how James and I did some of the effects for the film. This shot was never intended to be a visual effect. It was originally just to show that Holly was standing on the tracks. The plan was to just cut back and forth between the train approaching, Holly on the tracks, the train approaching, and so on until the audience gets the picture. We run the shot through some software that tracks the motion and analyzes it to create a 3D scene in our animation software, complete with a virtual camera that mimics what the camera was doing on set. We wanted to make sure that this shot was even possible before we spent too much time on it, so we made this quick test. Notice the train isn't perfectly matched with the footage. I had to adjust this later by hand. When modeling the train, I created this quick video to see how it was looking. The reflections helped me see if there are any imperfections that would otherwise be hard to see. The final 3D train was very detailed. You can see the front coupling has chain links, springs, cables, wheels, brake pads, windshield wipers, and rearview mirrors. The whole thing took a few weeks to build since I was learning a new modeling method. This is the 3D scene with all the environmental objects that will be reflected and cast shadows on the train. This was a test to see if the train looks like it's on the tracks. It's not perfect. The tracking software got the camera's lens perspective wrong, so I zoomed it out and made adjustments to put it back on the tracks. Here's the train's wireframe. I simplified the train's geometry for this so the lines would be easier to see. These are some of the images I used to paint the train and make it look real. James took pictures of stuff like metal, drips, scrapes, graffiti, rust spots, bird crap, and other reference. These tests show if the train is reflecting its environment, that shadows fall in the right place, and if textures are looking real. 2 weeks before the film's premiere, we were in Toronto, Canada for a friend's wedding, and we were doing these tests and making adjustments on our laptop in coffee shops and on the flight home. The shadows for the ground and fence were created separately and combined later. This allowed me to paint where the ground shadow would be visible through the sunlit fence and make the fence shadow only appear on the fence posts. Radiosity is Lightwave's term for light occlusion, replacing the sunlight, which overpowers light occlusion in the real world. And James reminded me that the train should be reflected in the rails. The train goes back on top, adding some camera lens artifacts from the headlights. And my favorite, the sunlight bounces off the train and illuminates the station platform.